Hey there. Welcome to the Christian Media Marketing Show. My name is John. Thanks for listening, for watching, for spending some time with me. I am grateful for that. I am recording this episode and the next one that's coming out here right before Christmas. And so let me wish you all a very Merry Christmas. It is a season that we remember not only Jesus, his birth and coming to earth, God himself becoming human in flesh. But we also remember what his birth and life and death and resurrection means for the people in your context and in the places where I'm working, where we know that they need to know who Jesus is. When we worked in Taiwan, we would hear Christmas music in English, even all the time. Amazing gospel Christmas type of messages, but nobody understood it. Nobody understood the music. Nobody understood the background behind it. In fact, many of them believed that it was just kind of the West way of the Chinese New Year, a New Year's type of celebration, or just a commercial thing with somebody named Santa or whatever else. They never understood the reality of just Jesus coming to earth. And so it is that message that matters, not just in December, but throughout all of the year. The message of God coming in flesh, the God man, Jesus Christ, and what he did to take away the greatest problem in the world, which is sin, to remove that burden and to remove that barrier of fellowship with God. That's what we have to share with people. And so I'm committed, and I know that you are, to using every possible way to make Jesus known. And one of those ways is social media and just really technology. And that's been a big area that I've been trying to lean into as our team is growing is in these different types of software and tools and techniques that enable people to accomplish the mission. We are not going away from the work that we do. In fact, it's getting harder and harder, and we have more and more teams that we are working with where we're trying to take that burden off of them, of the marketing part and the technology part, and many times just even the finance part. We're able to get funding to cover our cost so that they can get the benefit of having this experience from around the world without even having to pay for it. And so, though we can't always guarantee that, we are seeing that there are people and supporters that are willing to help in this way, that they're seeing the value of leveraging economies of scale. And so, I am just thankful that I have a great team, a team that's growing. I'm thankful for the people that we get to serve. You, the people that are listening to this show or watching it, are my heroes. And we are honored to serve you. More than anything else, we want to lift up the name of Jesus, and we are thankful to be able to do that with you. Sean came up to me yesterday and just said, well, I think we're running right now concurrently. We have ads going, and I forget the number, but it was a huge amount of countries of where it's at. And we're seeing good results, great results in some places. And in some places, it's still painfully slow. And so it's not a one size fits all. It's not a thing that you just throw up a few ads. It's a slow, deliberate process, but it does work. And so that's our prayer for you. Whether you're doing it on your own and you use this show to inspire or give you ideas or whatever, or you're using a different training partner or using us, whatever it may be, may God bless your efforts. Now, a couple things before we get started here on the topic of the day, and that is one, I just wanted to let you know that we've been seeing in several ad accounts in random places this error coming up where it is saying that a third party fact checker has determined that your post is not true. Well, these are just gospel messages. These are Jesus's birth messages, Christmas ads that we're running. And we saw that in more than one location. The problem with it is that you can't even appeal it. There's no process of appealing. They do say you can go and contact the third party fact checker or whatever, But I think it's been just another example of the Facebook, Instagram, the Meta challenges that they have, the frustrations that we face from the challenges that they have. What we did was just recreated the ad. So we deleted that one and we recreated, started a brand new, fresh ad with the exact same stuff. And then it was fine. In both instances, then it was fine. It is something that I've noticed at times that if you're just duplicating sometimes an ad, and trying to change something that you may face issues. So be careful if you're running into issues, change your browser, do all those things, restart your computer, but if you are facing some of those challenges, sometimes it's good to just start from scratch and hit that green button, create the ad from scratch to do that. If you're doing it though, make sure you're checking things like if you're doing a messaging ad, that you're checking the message template, that you're not getting people getting an FAQ that pops up in English saying, "Tell me more about your ad." If you're seeing that, it's because you've not set up your messaging ad correctly. You've got to change your messaging template. All right. So these are just some of the things that we're seeing that's out there. As far as the topics themselves, the training of this, I wanted to let you know that we're going to have we're redoing all of our training videos. Going to be starting here in January, hopefully with the filming of those, and we'll see how long it takes. This is a part of what Joel's going to be helping us with as he comes on board our team. But I'm excited to be saying that we're going to have all new training material, the most up to date material that we can think of, starting from the very beginning of all your social media marketing. So, Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, all of that, Google Ads, all of our courses. We want to update those. And we're doing that to benefit you all for some courses that I'm going to be teaching at some conferences coming up. I'm going to be doing a week long, our team is social media course at the EMDC conference in Thailand. So we're preparing for that. We have with our organizational partners a lot of trainings that are coming up. And so it's just important for us to update this because things constantly change. So the ways you do something, you've got to stay on top of it because it's always changing, unfortunately. And so even some of the stuff that we used to do, we don't do it anymore because it doesn't work, it's not as effective, or sometimes it'll actually just get you in trouble. Right. And so we're going to redo all of our training. Just wanted to let you know about that. We'll make that announcement. We'll make sure that everybody knows, but that is coming up. All right. So today I want to talk about a different subject, a new tool that was given to me. So, in full disclosure, it was not given to me by the company that makes the one that I'm using. It was given to me by a data scientist, actually, who works in all sorts of really cool stuff: AI, machine learning, VR. His company out on the west coast of the United States. It's really cool. And we were working together at a conference together, and he said, "Hey, I know you're interested in these kind of things. Let me give you this, and why don't you try it out and see what you think about this tool?" What it is a decentralized private network, a DPN. And so I'm going to jump into that in a second. What it looks like is just, well, just a small little device. It's got 4 USB ports on the sides of it, USB-C. This is an antenna that is a small little Wi-Fi antenna. You can connect this to your router, to your internet box, or you can do it as I've been testing it, connect it straight to your computer and use it as a VPN in essence when you travel. And I want to get into some of the benefits of this. One of the things that I like is just simply that it is decentralized. And to me, I like that whole concept of decentralization. So let's dive into it. So a decentralized virtual private network. If you've used something like Proton or different types of VPNs that are out there, then you probably understand the concept of what a VPN does. Its purpose is to protect you, to hide your IP address so that where you're operating is not known. This is important for some of you because of where you work. In the countries that you work in, they are make it very hard or difficult, or even from a security perspective, dangerous to be doing some of the work that you do. So a VPN is just an important tool that hopefully you use. You do need to be careful when you use a VPN, when you access things like your Facebook business account or other types of ones where they're looking at your IP to determine the country of where you're coming from. Because if it says your account is in, let's say, the United States, and then all of a sudden you're popping up and you're in England, and then the next minute you're over in Singapore, those can be some red flags. And we're seeing that. Okay, so accounts are getting disabled when people use a VPN to access them on Meta products. So be careful where you use these products. The other thing about it is that a normal VPN, when you use one, the IP address of those can become known. So if you've ever used a VPN to access, let's say, Netflix, to watch a movie or something, if you're a worker overseas and you really wanted to watch a show, well, you'll notice that sometimes it will say something to the extent of, we notice that you are using some sort of tool or something. It's saying, we know you're using a VPN, so turn that thing off, let us know where you really are, or the service doesn't work. So just because you're using a VPN doesn't always guarantee that it's going to work. But there has been other ways of doing this before, which is setting up computers in the host country and then tunneling into that remotely. And so this begins to use proxy accounts. And in a lot of ways, that's what this decentralized kind of network does. All right. So here's what it is. A decentralized VPN refers to virtual private networks that do not have a centralized control over server network. So there's not just like 10 servers that all the traffic is going through. Instead, they consist of unused network traffic from many different users who are offering it up. So instead of connecting to a server controlled by the owner, let's say Nord or Proton or whatever service, you are joining, in essence, independent nodes. And so there's the more people that use these decentralized private networks, these and create their own nodes, the more are available. I've been doing this for quite a while, and one of my computers is just creating a node that's open for traffic for people in Ukraine. And so it allows them to be able to access things. Same thing for people in Russia who are trying to find the news sometimes and the truth. Well, this is a way where they can get around it. They will use VPNs or these nodes and these tunnels there. There's many other countries where people are using these VPNs or different types of systems to get around the firewalls or restrictions that are there. What is great about this is that it really allows you to do several things. There's several benefits to it. So the first benefit just simply is that it can block ads. So if you want to, you could use this just to block ads on certain types of programming channels if you would want to. I have, to be honest with you, I've not really tried it much and I haven't seen it work yet. I haven't really been messing with it to do that because I don't mind the ads. I'd rather have personalized ads even instead of just random things that mean nothing. So I'm not going to be blocking them, but you can block ads. That's one thing that it can do. The other benefit, or at least another benefit, would be that you don't have to subscribe. So for me to sign up for, say, Proton VPN is around $79, something like that, US per year. Well, once you have purchased a device like this one, which is a from Deeper Connect, this one is a Deeper Connect Pico, then you have this device. It's just done. There are no more fees after that. Now, this device, tiny, costs about $150. So I figure in 2 years, a person could easily recoup their cost, and then there's no ongoing fees after that point. Another benefit is that this device has 7-layer firewall and encryption built into it. It uses the Atom OS, so it's not just a static thing. It's got some filtering, it's got encryption, it's got firewalls that's built into this device. It also allows you then to connect to over 80,000 nodes. So it's so much faster. I used it to stream content and videos, to watch restricted things such as soccer coverage, World Cup coverage in certain countries, like the BBC, that was being blocked where we were. Worked perfect. Super fast, no issues whatsoever. With a normal VPN, many times it can be really, really slow depending upon which one you use and how many people are using it. So, this is just a much faster alternative to be able to use. It also allows you to be able to route traffic to different places instead of just using one tunnel. With this one specifically, it calls it smart tunneling, and it goes, oh, this one doesn't need to be blocked, or this one's going to like an American one, so we're going to route it through this node, where this one over here is going to this country, so we need to use this node to access it. It's able, it says, to be able to figure that out. And though I'm still testing it, it does seem like it works the way they're saying. So it can route different traffic to different places instead of just using one tunnel with one location. All right. And so that's just another one of those ones that makes it, I think, very unique in that it is working in a way that a normal VPN wouldn't work. All right. So I hope that you might look into some of these and see if it might be a benefit to you. I'm not getting anything from this. I've not invested into this company. I don't know, anything about the background of them per se. I mean, I've read they have a website, the Deeper Connect one does. I've read through all of it. I'm using the device, but this idea of using nodes and or a decentralized private network is something that I think is very intriguing and something that's going to continue to grow. The whole idea of Web3, of decentralized, of controlling your data or choosing what you're going to share, all of these things to me are just fascinating, and I think it's the future. I'm not getting caught up on some of the things that seem ridiculous. I'm just saying the future is going to be more and more privacy. I think a fractured internet, which means that certain countries are going to lock down what they have, which will mean that more and more people are going to need to be using VPNs or potentially these DPNs, these decentralized private networks. All right. I hope that's a benefit to you. We're next week's show, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can share documents and from a website in an encrypted way. So if you work in places that are secure or you just need to store or share information in a secure way, I'm going to show you one example to be able to do that all on your own, completely free. All right. And so that's going to be next week's show. I hope you can tune in. As always, if there's something that you have questions about or ways that we can be helping you, I would love to hear about it. Please reach out to us. If you're hearing this and it's not Christmas or right around that, Merry Christmas to you. May you have a beautiful time celebrating Jesus and a Happy New Year. Take care and God bless.